Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Back again with another live stream. The Euros are finally over. The Copa America is finally over. Now it's down to club business. Only maybe a month away from the Premier League starting. Only a week away from preseason starting now. It's back to Arsenal business fully. So let's get the latest on Calafiori, the latest on Merino, the latest on Smith Rowe, Lokonga, and all those players. We're expecting business to be done this week and the next couple of weeks as well, before preseason at least. And let's start with the latest news in terms of Calafiori. What's the latest thing on him? Are we finally going to get him this week? Well, according to reports from Sam Dean, Arsenal are understood to remain in negotiations with Bologna over their move for Riccardo Calafiori, who could cost around £45 million. There is now a growing expectation that a deal will be done. Now, I've always said I have no doubt a deal will be done with Calafiori. Yes, it takes a couple of more days or a couple of more weeks than we expected, but a deal will be done. Bologna, the thing is, there's usually like 2, 3, 4 difficult steps before you even negotiate with the team. And number one is usually, does the player even want to join you? Yes, we've ticked that box. Calafiori wants to join Arsenal. Number two, are there any other teams that are still bidding for him or trying to, snatch him from us? No, there's not really any teams that are trying to snatch him from us at all. Do we have a good relationship with the position team that is trying to sell him? Yes. So all that points to, yeah, he definitely will join us. So it's just about money. So it's either we'll end up paying that money that they're asking for, or they'll end up reducing the money, or we'll meet in the middle somewhere, get a deal somewhere in the middle, compromise for both sides. So I have no doubt that Calafiori is going to be an Arsenal player. It has carried over. It started like the previous week, I think, on the Monday. So I think it's already like 12, 13 days since we started negotiating for Calafiori. But I think this week it finally be done, because we're going for preseason over the weekend. They're traveling to USA. I don't think they're going to travel there without Calafiori. I think he'll be an Arsenal player by then, unless something crazy happens when you end up getting someone else. I don't think this week will pass before he joins us. So I don't think we'll go to USA without the player having joined Arsenal. So Sam Dean has reported there is now a growing expectation that a deal will be done. Yes, obviously it's frustrating. I know why Arsenal fans are always frustrated. I do know why. You want to get the deal done quickly and then we go to the next deal. But as I've always said, doesn't necessarily mean because we are currently negotiating the Calafiori deal that we're not doing anything else. Like we've been negotiating the Lokonga deal on the side, we've been negotiating the goalkeeper deals on the side while the Calafiori deal is going on. So it would have been great to get a fast signing right away. Like last season, we got Havertz in early. We already knew he had one signing, and then we were negotiating with Rice and Timber. The previous season, we already had Jesus in early, and then we were negotiating with the likes of Zinchenko. That is how we'd prefer it. Get your players early and then focus on other players. But I am confident the player will join us this particular week, maybe in the next couple of days, and then we'll hear a breakthrough in the next couple of days. Surely. I know a lot of people have been saying next week, today, tomorrow, 24 hours, 48 hours, he'll be an Arsenal player. It has taken longer than usual. I think the thing that has made it take a long time is the bonuses and the add-ons. I think maybe Bologna was asking for something too crazy in terms of the bonuses and the add-ons and the sell-on clause, and Arsenal like, no, we can't pay you, maybe 10 million in bonuses, and then you still need a certain amount of fee in add-ons, and then you also need to include the sell-on clause. You obviously can't just say yes to everything. Let's just get the player quickly. Yes, you're going to pay you 70 million. Yes, plus 20 million in add-ons. Yeah, plus 20 million in bonuses. Obviously, you have to negotiate. You can't just say yes to everything that Bologna does say. So that's why I don't have a problem with it taking a couple of more days, because what if Bologna have asked for 30 million in bonuses? We can't just say yes because fans are desperate to get a deal signed before the weekend. We can't do that. As long as the player is in at Arsenal before preseason, that is all that matters. I don't care whether it happens on June 1st or June 20th or July 20th. As long as it's an Arsenal player before preseason, that is absolutely fine. So the deal will be done very soon. This is what Di Marzio said yesterday. I think he will go to Arsenal. He's the perfect Premier League defender. So yeah, a lot of journalists from Italy, Bologna, and a lot of people with basically inside knowledge of the player and the team, they've all said it's going to be an Arsenal player. Fabrizio said he's not going to go anywhere else. The player himself, there's no chance of him, like Sesko, there was a chance of him staying at Leipzig. He ended up staying. They said that Calafiori is not going to stay at Bologna. He said he wants to leave. He's happy to move on to the Premier League. So I have no doubt he's going to be an Arsenal player. I don't even think it has taken that long. I know we do take a lot of time to negotiate our deals, But I think the Declan Rice one was even longer than this one, to be honest. So we are used to it as Arsenal fans. I know we'll get linked to a plane on June 1st and then we'll sign them on August 1st. As long as the player joins Arsenal, I have no problem. Now, what other thing was Arsenal trying to include in the deal in terms of all the money and bonuses and add-ons? Well, according to reports, Arsenal offered Jakub Kiwior on loan with an obligation to buy to Bologna in an attempt to break the deadlock in negotiations for Riccardo Calafiori. However, Bologna rejected the proposal. Interesting. So the player is worth around 45 million. That is Calafiori. So maybe Arsenal were like, we are going to give you 20 million plus Kiwior or 15 million plus Kiwior. Let's say 20 million. Maybe Arsenal told them, we are going to give you 20 million plus Kiwior. And they were like, hell no. Like, we want the money up top. We want, we want the bonuses, the add-ons. We value Calafiori as a package, like 60 million as a package, not even really 50 million plus the add-ons and the bonuses. It will total to something like 60 million. And they don't feel like Kiwior covers that for them. Maybe we don't know if they want the player or not. We had rumors that Bologna would be happy to have Kiwior in their team, but maybe in terms of the money proposal, they're not really happy with that. So maybe if we had said something like, we're going to give you 30 million plus Kiwior, they would have said yes. Or maybe they just don't want Kiwior at all. So we don't know what is going to happen with Kiwior and with Bologna, but Bologna said no to Kiwior. They don't want that proposal. So you have to keep on trying. So I guess that is what is taking a long time. Maybe Arsenal tried to pay certain amount in bonuses, they refused. Then Arsenal tried to offer Kiwior, then they refused. Maybe even offered another player, they refused. So now they have to get a compromise this week. As we were told, the agent is trying to finalize this deal very, very quickly for the player to move to Arsenal. And hopefully it's done very, very soon. We can sort out the future of Calafiori and sort out the future of Kiwior within the next couple of days. And we can finally move on from that story to other stories, like we are going to do right now. We are going to move to Mikel Merino. According to reports on Mikel Merino from Samdin as well, Arsenal are plotting a move for Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Merino. The Euros are now obviously. Arsenal's interest in the player predates the start of Euro 2024. It has been claimed in Spain that Sociedad would want around £20 million. Now, that's a very good price for the players, the Euros winner now. I would have expected him to be like 30, 40 million or something, but 20 million pounds is such a good fee. Now, if you buy him from 20 million, I don't know if he's going to come to Arsenal and be a starter or not, because Merino, we don't know the plans with Arsenal this time, which is good for me. I don't want it to be out there for everyone to know which players Arsenal want and all that. Absolutely no problem with it being a secret, especially in terms of midfield. We don't know if Partey is going to stay. We don't know if Jorginho is going to start a certain number of games. Next season is just going to be totally a bench player. We're still trying to, decide whether Rice is going to be a permanent number 8 or is going to, rotate. Sometimes players are number 6, sometimes players are number 8. We don't know which midfielders we're going to sign. Is it going to be a number 6? A lot of the number 6s we were linked to or moved on. Fofana's gone to AC Milan, Onana's gone to Aston Villa. Who else? Luis has moved to Juventus. So those players that you're linked to, you're not going to get. But there's still a couple of others that are available. The likes of Bruno Guimaraes, very expensive. I don't think you're going to get him. Joao Neves, very expensive. But there could be a lot of different midfielders available. And one of them is Merino. It's not significantly, usually a number 6, sorry. But is mainly a number 8. So could we end up getting Merino to play in that number 8 position? Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a backup for our player Declan Rice? Or will Rice move to the number 6 and mean Merino plays as a number 8? Could be a possibility. So it depends on whether Partey is going to move on or if you're going to sign 2 midfielders. I would love to get 2 midfielders. The problem is that we need a winger, we need a striker. I would have loved to get 2 midfielders, a number 6 and a number 8, and then, just have different options. And then you have 2, 3 midfielders on the bench who can come on and make a difference. Very important. It's very important to have a squad like that. Now, Man City don't have too many midfielders like Kovacic, Rodri, maybe one more in terms of those number 6 and number 8 positions. They have a couple of players who can play them, but like Rodri and Kovacic, they're professionals. But if you have like 4 or 5 midfielders, like Liverpool have plenty, like Curtis Jones, McAllister, Endo, like just different options in midfield. So Rice can rest for a game. Partey can rest for a game if he's still here. Jorginho can rest for a game. Now, Rice, speaking of Rice is not going to come back until August 5th. That is what the reports are saying. So Rice and Saka are going to, Rice, Saka, Ramsdale, Rare, they're going to come back on August 5th. That means they're going to miss the whole USA tour, and they're probably going to miss maybe one Emirates Cup game or something. So there's a big chance, like, we might not have Rice and sacking those players in the first game of the Premier League this season, because they need to go on their holidays. They just finished their tournament yesterday. That is why I usually want Arsenal players to be knocked out early, in terms of being selfish. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Spain fan or an England fan. I want our players to come back fit and early so that we have them next season. But that means Rice will not be there for preseason. So we'll have to try different things. So as of now, I don't think Partey is going to leave because Rice is not here anyway. And Jorginho, I don't know if he's back from his holiday. So we literally don't have any goalkeeper to play right now. We might have to use the youngsters. And in terms of midfield, at least we have the opportunity of trying different things. Now, even if we sign Merino still can't come until the same time that the Declan Rice and Reyes will come, because himself, he's been at the Euros as well. So I don't know what you're going to do with the midfield position. If Jorginho is going to start the season, are we going to go for any other midfielders that, playing at did not play at the Euros? Because even someone like Bruno Guimaraes played at the Copa America. So there's not too many other midfielders who are going to start the games for us, especially during preseason. And it's Liverpool, United, so it's not easy teams in the preseason. But we are linked to Merino. For 20 million, we could get the deal done. But just like the other players that have been at the Euros, this is going to be, again, complicated because we have to wait for the player to come back from his holiday. We have to negotiate unless he wants to sign for us before he goes on his holiday and all that. It's going to be a bit complicated, but maybe it can be done quickly because it's a 20 million deal. And as I say, don't be surprised if Calafiori ends up being our fourth signing and we actually get, Setford and someone else ahead of Calafiori, and then Calafiori becomes like the fourth signing and not the first or second signing. So Mikel Merino, we are expected to make a move very, very soon. I think Atsa really likes the player. We've been told that Atsa's called the player before to discuss with him how he's going to fit at Arsenal, how he's going to help in the midfield position. He won the most aerial duels last season, as we said. In terms of physicality and why Atsa wants him, this is what we were told. Arsenal wants a central midfield, and one player of interest is Sociedad's Merino. Mikel is an admirer of his talent and physicality. Merino turned 28 in June, which would place him outside of Arsenal's typical recruitment profile. The relative youth of the squad, however, means they can add experienced players when required, as they did with Jorginho and Trossard. This was according to Ghana blog for the Athletic. So, yeah, the player in terms of age doesn't matter. I saw someone commenting on a video today and saying Merino is old. Nah, 27, 28 is not all. That is the prime of your career. If you're 32, 33 in terms of football, then yeah, I can argue all. But the likes of Trossard, we signed them around that age as well. So they can still do something for you. Chelsea are the ones who have the policy of not signing players above 25. I think that puts a bit of a block on how you're going to build the team. If you start saying you're not going to sign anyone above 27, 26, or for midfielder, a very good midfielder who's 27 becomes available, they just turned 27. Are you not going to sign them because they just turned 27 the previous day? No. So Merino is a very good player. He's just won the Euros. You've seen him performing for them. He didn't always start. He came off the bench, and he looked really good. Another player who looked really good yesterday, by the way, was Zubimendi. When Rodri went out of that game, I thought they were going to struggle, but Zubimendi actually came in and did well. I wanted him, remember? But he didn't want to come to the Premier League. Didn't want to move from Spain. But those Sociedad players I saw in that tournament, Merino, Zubimendi, Lenormand, I think, has moved to Atletico Madrid. Those players have been really good for Spain in midfield. So getting players from Sociedad and Bilbao and Atletico Madrid, those guys are really good. So we're expecting to hear a couple of things in the next 2-3 days on Merino. I think by the end of this week, we're going to know whether we're going to sign Merino or not. For sure, we're going to hear it. We'll either be hearing whether he's going to stay there, whether he's going to go to Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, or is he going to come to us? So we'll just have to wait for him to come back from his holiday. So it's complicated. It's complicated. No one knows what's going on in terms of transfer news right now. Like in terms of 100% sure. Players at the Euros, players are coming back from the Copa America, players on holiday, players are, the money, negotiations is going on. I wouldn't be surprised if we just heard about a random player coming from Norway, like a random midfielder from the Serie A or La Liga coming in who was not playing at the Euros. One player who's left Arsenal to date has been confirmed is Lokonga. Just quickly on him, we've talked about him a lot. Albert Sambi Lokonga to Sevilla, season-long loan, 12 million by option, salary covered in full by Sevilla, 25% sell-on clause inserted for Arsenal if Sevilla activate by option. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. So he's been unveiled today as a Sevilla player, Albert Sambi Lokonga, so all the best to him. It's a loan deal, though, with an option to buy. Now, I'm a bit worried whether they're actually going to buy him, I don't know, unless it goes there and does very well and they pay us that 12 million euros, hopefully. But I'd not be surprised if it returns to us next season, and then we have to look for more to do in terms of selling him. But we don't want to talk about Lokonga too much. You already know the details. We're going to get 12 million next season if they do decide to buy him. We're going to have a 25% sell-on clause. So if they decide to go on and sell him for 100 million pounds in the next 3 years, we're going to get 25 million from that. So yeah, that is how it works. We're going to have a 25% sell-on clause, and that is it. Now, let me read the article. Let me go back to Merino. This is what they had to say about Merino on the article. Arsenal still in negotiation. Let me move from that. Arsenal are plotting a move for Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Merino, who played a crucial role in Spain's triumph at Euro 2024. The club's interest in Merino predates the start of the tournament in Germany, and his reputation has been further enhanced by his performances over the past month. So yeah, we've been interested in him before, even before the Euro started. So it's not a case of him playing at the Euros and us being interested in him after the Euros. No, the midfielder featured in all 7 of Spain's matches at Euro 2024, mostly from the bench, and struck a dramatic late win against Germany in the quarterfinal. Merino surely this midfielder made it 2-1. Yeah, they go on to say how he won the game for Spain against Germany. The 28-year-old is slightly older than Arsenal's usual transfer targets. The average age of their signings over the past 3 years is 24, but he could represent a good value as he has only 1 year remaining on his contract. So that's another reason why he's that cheap. Merino has some experience of English football, having played for Newcastle United. I saw that last week and I was like, I never saw Merino playing for Newcastle. He was actually playing for Newcastle back in 2017, 2018. I don't remember that. He has been a consistent and reliable figure at Sociedad over the last 6 seasons, averaging more than 30 appearances in each of his league campaigns at the club. Yeah, that's another thing. We heard that he's missed like 11 games or something the last 5 years. That is something Arteta wants in his team, players who can play numerous games without getting injured. He is a former teammate of Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard, and if the club choose to step up their interest, would provide extra depth in defensive midfield and box-to-box midfield positions. Arsenal are likely to face strong competition for Merino's signature, however, with Spanish reports claiming that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are among the clubs interested. So let's see how it's going to go. We are very definitely interested in him. I'd not be surprised if we sign a midfielder. I expect us to sign a midfielder 100%. And I do expect us to sign Calafiori 100%, and expect us to sign a striker 95%. The one I'm not sure whether we're going to get or not is a backup for Saka. That one, we've not had anything really concrete, so I'm not sure whether we're going to get a backup for Saka, or are we going to use Vieira there next season? Are we going to use Jesus there next season? Are we going to use Martinelli there next season? Because Martinelli, the 2-3 games he played on the right side at the end of last season, including the last game of the season when Saka was out injured. So could we be moving Martinelli on the right side permanently? I don't know. So that's the position I'm not sure what we are going to do with. So I'm going to come to your comments. But first, the latest on Emil Smith-Rowe. What's the latest on him? According to reports on Emil Smith-Rowe, Fulham have opened preliminary talks of a deal for Emil Smith-Rowe with the bid in mind. Smith-Rowe is keen to remain at his boyhood club Arsenal, but should it become apparent that there is no room for him in the side, a move could materialize. So again, another one that we don't know what the hell is going to happen. Like last season, the end of last season, we knew Xhaka was going to leave Arsenal, and maybe one more player or something. Everyone was like, keep everyone, keep Ramsdale, keep White, keep Gabriel, keep Saliba, keep Odegaard. Everyone was like, keep everyone. Let's go again next season. This time is different. This time there's like 8 or 9 players. We're not sure whether they're going to be here or not. I don't know where Nelson is going to go. I don't know if Nketiah is going to be here or not. I don't know if Ramsdale is going to be here or not. I don't know whether Partey is going to be here. I don't know if Jesus is going to be here. I don't know if Zinchenko is going to be here. I think Kiwior will leave, but where will he go? We are still not sure about that one as well. Vieira, is he going to stay or not? There's a lot. There's like 8-9 players that you're not 100% sure what they're going to do. And maybe maybe they've just really kept everything secret, which is good, because we already knew everything last season, how much our budget was, which players we're going to go for. This time, maybe there's no leaks from the club and you're not hearing anything. And but we've had this in terms of Smith-Rowe. Fulham are preparing to make a bid for him. What will the bid be, though? If they come and offer something like 18 million or something like that, is that satisfying enough? I don't think so. Arsenal wants close to 30 million, maybe even more than that. But will Fulham, teams like Fulham and, teams like Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, those teams are not going to come and give us 70 million for Ramsdale or come and give us 50 million for Smith Rowe. If Smith Rowe was wanted by Bayern Munich or Barcelona or Real Madrid, then you can potentially get that kind of money. But the problem is, Wolves is not going to come and give us 50 million for Nelson. Newcastle is not going to come and pay us 50 million for Ramsdale. Leicester is not going to come and give us 45, 50 million for Nketiah. Arsenal asking for close to 40 million for Nketiah. In pounds, it's around 32, 33 million pounds. Arsenal wants a significant amount of money for Emil Smith-Rowe as well. We want the same for Nelson as well. If those teams are ready to pay the money, those players would probably have gone by now. But I'm starting to feel we're going to maybe come and sell Smith-Rowe and get in players like that, maybe even after preseason, maybe even after the season has started. So it depends. It depends because this is not really in our hands. Smith-Rowe leaving Arsenal, Nketiah leaving Arsenal, all those players leaving Arsenal, not really in our hands. Calafiori signing for Arsenal, that is in our hands. We're the ones who are going to finalize that. But the one for Smith-Rowe, maybe if Fulham don't ever make an offer and no other team comes in and makes an offer, then we're stuck with the player if we didn't want him, the likes of Nketiah, Nelson as well. There's no one who's really made a bid for Nketiah right now. We've been told that 6-7 teams want him, but no one has made a bid yet. Same with Reece Nelson, West Ham want him, but they've not made a bid yet. So as of now, we just have to wait for the players who are going to leave or stay. We're not sure at all. So again, going to be interesting. But Smith-Rowe, let's see how much Fulham are going to offer for him. For me, I want Smith-Rowe to stay. I prefer him staying. If I was to choose between those three players who I'm going to sell, I'm going to say Nelson and Nketiah. I would keep Smith-Rowe. How much would I be looking for Nelson? 25 million. Nketiah, 30 million. That is what I'd ask. I wouldn't be too greedy. I've seen like West Ham or someone today, like a bench player, a youngster, like 18, 19. They've been sold for 20, 25 million. I was like, what? How are these clubs always able to get this 25, 30 million pounds for players we've never had? Maybe you should also be, crazy with the likes of Nelson and Nketiah. Like, no, we're not selling them unless they're giving us 40 million or something. Because I'm seeing some random youngsters going for 40 million, 50 million. Like, really? Why can't we get significant amount of money for these players? But let's wait and see what happens to these players. Aaron Ramsdale, we've been told that Southampton are weighing up a move for him and are prepared to step up their interest when he returns from Euro 2024. If Ramsdale is to leave this summer, Arsenal would prefer a permanent deal and would want close to 30 million. So, Jesus Christ. We're asking for a lot of money from a lot of different teams. We're definitely asking for a lot of money. But for Ramsdale, I think Ramsdale is fine enough. Ramsdale is still a very good goalkeeper. If Ramsdale was not dropped as Arsenal, the other teams could look at it like, yeah, but he doesn't play for you guys anyway. No, Ramsdale was not removed from Arsenal because he's a bad goalkeeper. Ramsdale is a very good shot stopper, but for the style of play that you're doing, he did not fit the style of play. But in terms of if he goes to 16 other teams in the Premier League and they're, having shots taken against them, Ramsdale is a very good goalkeeper to have in terms of shot stopping and all that. And now, since he's been in the Arsenal team, he's going to bring some experience to your team and a few things that he's learned from Rowe and Inaki and Mateta and all those guys. So it still be a good purchase. He still gets picked for England even without playing. He still gets picked. He's still a very good goalkeeper. He's nowhere near 30 or anything like that. He still has a good 10 years remaining in his career. So he can definitely go and do something at a different place as well. But hopefully we do get that 30 million at least. Let's not make a loss on Ramsdale, because since Ramsdale joined Arsenal, I think he became a better goalkeeper. I don't think Ramsdale became a worse goalkeeper, even if he has not been playing. Since we signed Ramsdale in 2021, I think he's become a better goalkeeper, a better person and all that. So we should be making a profit on him. Even if he hasn't played at all last season, he's still a very good goalkeeper and he's still very young. He's still an England international. He still had 2 incredible seasons for Arsenal. I still remember his performances at Anfield and at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and the saves he made against Bailey in our 4-2 win against Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago. He's definitely a very good goalkeeper. But let's wait and see what happens with that deal this week as well. Finally, Nico Williams, another player who's just won the Euros. Brilliant finish yesterday, brilliant goal. I still believe he could end up at Barcelona, especially after seeing Yamal assisting him again yesterday. There's no way you'd want not to go to Barcelona. I'm also hearing that Barcelona want Olmo. if he's told Olmo and Yamal are both at Barcelona, surely he'd want to go to Barcelona, unless he wants to separate himself from that. I don't know. If Arsenal are to sign a wide player, Nico Williams would be Mikel Arteta's preference. We've been told today that Arsenal now since the Euros are over, Arsenal now trying to approach Athletic Bilbao and see what can happen with that deal. Barcelona are obviously interested, but the only way Barcelona might not sell him is if they don't have enough money for him. That is the only way. Liverpool also wants him. But this would be an incredible signing, man. Like just the pace that he has and the directness. I love players like that. Players who you can give the ball and something is going to happen. I've always said the last 4 seasons, give Saka the ball and something is definitely going to happen. Nico Williams is someone like that. And in terms of the pace and the skill and the ability and the unpredictability and all that, he's an incredible player. He's incredible at the Euros. Very, very good player. So they gave Rodri player of the tournament. Fair enough, but I do think Yamal and Nico Williams stood out more. But Stippier and all that, I think Nico Williams and Yamal were really, really good. They were very, very good for Spain, and they've properly announced themselves these Euros. Now, the good thing with Nico Williams is a release clause of around 48 million. 48 million, right? I think it's 48 million there. That's the release clause. So if he didn't have a release clause, after he scored yesterday, that would have jumped to like 100 million. He wouldn't be able to afford him, especially after this tournament. But let's wait and see. If he wants to join us, I'll be very, very happy, man. This would be an incredible signing. But let's see what happens this week as well. Now that the Euros are over, no more excuses about Euros and Copa America. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's see the comments. Thank you, Brian, for watching. Do this. There you go. How are you following? Good afternoon, Anu. Arsenal need to get started in transfer market about incomings. Yeah, now all those tournaments are over. Let's hope that we start doing the business now. Good evening. Been a while. Let us just forget about the Calafiori deal. We should sign a striker. No, we can't forget about the Calafiori deal. We have to sign him, especially after taking 2 weeks on him. You can't just forget about it. You have to get it done. And remember, there's no way, even if we did, let's say we did forget about Calafiori, there's no way they're going to say, okay, let's forget about Calafiori and go to a midfield and a striker. No, they're going to forget about Calafiori and start trying getting another defender, especially if Kiwior is leaving and Zinchenko could end up leaving. They will have to try and get a defender as well. So let's just finalize it. It's already 99% done. Let's finish with it. And then there's no, but as I said, there's no reason why you're not trying to do other deals. I'm sure we are still trying to negotiate other deals, even with the Calafiori one going on. But no, you cannot just abandon the deal. Kunda says, thanks for the update. Appreciate it. For sure, Arsenal, we don't know what Arsenal is planning, says Mukosa. Yeah, this is the first transfer window that we don't know what is happening. And I'm okay with that. We don't have to know. As long as we sign the players, if we get surprised and we're told, okay, here we go for Osimhen tonight and we didn't know anything about it, I am happy with that. If you're told tomorrow, by the way, Watkins is signing for Arsenal, well and good. We didn't really have to know. And that means the leaks and all that from the teams that are not happening anymore, which would be great. Good evening, Jacob. Arsenal, my heart from Ethiopia, says Musa. Thank you for watching. Dauda says, Glenn, I'm confident that as the transfer window moves closer to its end, important players are going to be available for transfer. Players such as Musiala, Rodrigo, Guimaraes, and others. Rodrigo's an interesting one. Let's see how that one goes. I don't know if he'd want. I think he'll be a bench player next season now that Mbappe has gone there. Musiala would be incredible, but I just have a feeling it's too important for Bayern. Like if Musiala left Bayern, you'd have to pay 100 of millions, man, 150 million or something. But yeah, I think we're going to get deals done and players are now going to be available. But mostly those players who've been at Copa America and stuff, they're going to need the holidays. And we've been told that Trice is going to come back on August 5th. That is far. That is very far. That's why I don't like these tournaments, man, like Euros and AFCON and Copa America and Asian Cup, because players usually go. I'm an Arsenal supporter, I'm not an England or Brazil supporter. I want our players to come back fit. I want us to sign players. And if we can't sign, for example, Musiala because he was playing for Germany, that is affecting us as Arsenal fans. Dennis says, good news. Arsenal should wait on those players that can improve the team instead of going after any player. Let's see. William says, good evening. Good evening to you. What happened to Kimmich? He's gone a bit silent, but another player was obviously on holiday. But we were told that he could potentially still leave Bayern Munich. I think he has to go back to Bayern Munich and discuss it with them first. I don't think it was just immediate. Players like Kimmich are not going to leave Bayern Munich like within a day. Such kind of transfer will go all the way to August or something. Thank you, Bagav. I appreciate you watching as always. He says good presentation on this stream for the viewers. Thank you. I think Arsenal wants a number 6 more than a number 8. Part is not reliable and is replaceable. I think they kind of want someone who can do both. Kiwior, I think they want someone who can do both. Again, it's very hard to predict what they want. He has to be linked to, I think, more number 6s than number 8s. But we've heard about players like Ez and stuff, but more number 6s. So for me, I want a number 6 for sure. Actually, before the transfer window, I wanted a midfielder before a striker, and I still want it right now. I want a midfielder first, because if Partey gets injured, again, we are finished in that midfield position. I don't want us to have to play Rice and Jorginho for 60 games in the season, every single game. I don't want that. I want us to have different options in midfield, and then we go and get a striker as well. But let's just get a midfield. I prefer Rice as a number 8. Make those tackles, interceptions from the front areas, and closer to goal. If he makes an interception, we just needs to make one pass and he score a goal. That's what the position I want him to do. And last season, he had a lot of goal contributions in terms of goals and assists, so he can do a lot of business going forward. Declan Rice, so I prefer him in that position, and also taking a bit of pressure away from him in the number 6. Number 6, I just want someone to stay there, collect the ball from the defenders, distribute it, make those tackles, control position in midfield. If you tell Rice to do that, you're kind of also limiting him, because he wants to go forward and take shots and assist and, create and all that. So let's have him in the number 8 position. No problem with having him in the number 6 position 2 or 3 games when you need to attack and throw in another attacker. No problem. Joel says we can't predict Arsenal future until all is done. There we go with the ones we have grabbed. Anyway, well done. Thank you, Joel. Bagger says it's complicated, but Arsenal have to get it right. Extremely important transfer window. Extremely important. That is why I'm like, there is no way, because people are like, we're not going to sign anyone. It's not looking good. Nah, I'm 100% sure there's no way these two are sitting after we just, came 2 points away from Man City and 1 goal away from making it to the Champions League semi-final, and then we don't sign anyone. I don't think that is going to happen. I think we're definitely going to get players. So hope they are cooking something. Hopefully they can prove me right, and I can come on and say, yeah, this is why I was confident in this, guys. Good afternoon, watching live from Buduburam camp in Ghana, says Francisco. Thank you. Highest quality possible is priority players that can win biggest matches. Exactly. Alicia says watching you from Botswana. Thank you. Nico wants Barca, says Lukman. Yeah, I believe so as well. There's a lot of reasons why I'd want Barcelona. He wants to stay in Spain, maybe. He wants to stay closer to his brother and the rest of the family. He wants to play the Yamal. Barcelona probably is dream team. Madrid and Barcelona are a lot of dream teams to a lot of players. So he might want to go there for sure. Alicia says, can Arsenal be serious in signing players, please? You have to fork out money if you really want to win trophies. You do. I agree. But if Bologna say they wanted 100 million for Calafiori, you don't just pay the money. You have to negotiate. You have to be like, no, we can't pay 100 million for him. You have to negotiate for sure. You can't just bend down to any demands that they have. That is something you can't do. And I've always said since back in the day, I don't want Arsenal to be bullied in the transfer window, in the transfer market. We've always been bullied. We get a little money for our players, and then we buy players for 70 million. If you are signing, if Nketiah was playing for Benfica and you wanted Nketiah, they would tell us 90 million for Nketiah. So we can also do the same for our players. We don't sell our players easily, and don't just say, okay, how much do you want? 70 million here for any player. No, you have to negotiate. As I said, I have no problem if a player is signed yesterday or tomorrow. If it means, we are going to sign Calafiori for 40 million and it took another 3 days, there's no problem with that. Please, I want to clarity on the news that Calafiori tendered the transfer request, says Oyewusi. James says, what's update on Calafiori? I'm going to come to him. Gary, how are you, man? Nice seeing you here. Really appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Gunners, if you get this player since Tendai. Nico is good, but he might go to Barcelona. Yeah, that's for him. For Calafiori, I think he'll definitely join Arsenal. And a couple of other players I usually say they're definitely going to join Arsenal. But the Nico Williams one, nah, I'm not confident in that. And there's a lot of reasons why I'd want to join Barcelona. What's happening with regards to the number 9? We had an update on Gyökeres in the last video. We were told that Arsenal and Chelsea are still planning to make a bid for them. But in terms of Osimhen and Gyökeres, both of them, the fact is you're just waiting for those teams to drop prices. PSG today have said that they want Osimhen again, but they've said they're not going to pay that money. So up until Napoli and Sporting reduce the prices, we're not going to sign those players. We're not going to pay 100 million for Gyökeres. That is not going to happen. Sorry. I'm watching directly in Sierra Leone, says Yusuf. Thank you. Martin says, Oleglen, I believe that what Atenedu are cooking is something great. I believe so as well. I know people are like, why have you not signed a player yet? But I'm going to come in the next 2 weeks and be like, I told you guys, we're definitely going to cook something. I have no worries with that at all. It's going to take time, yes, but hey, no problem. Walker is watching from Liberia. I really appreciate you guys watching us always. We'll be back again later with more updates. Let's hope we get breaking news or something. Thank you for watching this live stream. Tomorrow, same time. Catch up with you on the next one.